Happy is he, happy is he.
Okay. So Mashiach has to be revealed to an individual. This is not something that somebody comes to on their own. Okay. Do we also learn from this passage that there is a distinction between the Father and the Son? Do we also learn that? Yes. Okay. Let's move on. Let's take a look at another passage. Let's go to John chapter 14. And we're going to look at verse 6. Now this question, who is Yahushua Ha'Mashiach? Here, let us know a little bit more. Yahushua said to him, I am the way. What does that mean? The walk, the pathway, the road, in other words. He said, yes, I am the truth. Okay. Now what did he just do? What did he just do right here? Okay, he added something, but by saying that he is the truth, talk to me a little bit. What is he saying there? He's proclaiming something like this.
Solidifying himself.
Solidifying himself as what?
As being what was foretold.
Okay.
They had prior knowledge to what was truth.
Okay.
So he's saying, I am that truth that you had knowledge of.
So I'm the culmination of that. I'm what you've been looking for. I'm what you've been walking in. I am the way and the truth. Then he said, and the life. Now, what does he mean by that? I am the way. So now I am the truth and the life. What's this life? Help me out here. What does he mean that he is the life? You're talking about what brings anything that exists into existence. That's what I am. Okay. But then he says this. No one comes to the Father except through me. What did he just do when he made this statement?
He blocked any other kind of way of getting to the Father.
I'm the way. If you want to get to the Father, I am the pathway that you have to walk upon. I am that truth that the Father expressed. We're going to talk about some things today. I am that existence. See? Hallelujah. See, that's another point that we want to follow as we go along. Because we also learn, again, there is a distinction between the Father and the Son. The Son is the means by getting to the Father. Okay. Let's move on. Let's look at something else. Let's go to John chapter 11. We're going to begin at verse 41. That's John 11:41, my brother. It says, so they took away the stone where the dead man was laid. And Yahushua lifted up his eyes and said, Father, I thank you that you have heard me. Again, he's praying, he's communicating now to the Father. He says, and I know that you always hear me. Okay? But because of the crowd, see, standing by, I said this in order that they believe that you sent me. So again, we see a distinction between Father and Son, because the Son communicated to the Father. So from this point on, the word says this: by 2 or 3 shall a matter be established. You know, we have seen at this point 3 passages that clearly show there's a distinction between the Father and the Son. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Let's move on. Let's go back to John chapter 14. Something else that we're going to say. Now, how many of you have heard the teaching pertaining to the Gospels? The four Gospels. Each Gospel pertains to a particular aspect of Mashiach. Okay. We have the Gospel of Matthew, which focused on the kingly aspect and the royalty of Mashiach. We have the Gospel of Mark, which pertains to him as being a man, a human being. We have the Gospel of Luke, which focused on him being the servant of the Most High. But then that Gospel of John, out of all of these apostles, he was the one who saw something different. If you notice, with Matthew, Mark, and Luke, they correspond to one another a little bit. Brother Yahushua, he kind of pushed the envelope when he wrote his God, his history of Mashiach. And his focal point was the deity of Mashiach. See, that has presented a problem to many people today. See, not understanding who Yahushua Ha'Mashiach is. We will see some things, okay? And you know, we're trying to lay a little foundation for this. We get some ideas established from the Word, not opinion, from His Word. Okay? So, in John chapter 14 and verse 28, he states again, you heard that I said to you, I am going away, and I am coming to you. If you did love me, you would have rejoiced that I said, I am going to the Father. Distinction. There's a Son, there's a Father. For my Father is greater than I. So whoever Mashiach Yahushua is, we can see from his word the Father that he prays to, the Father that he said he is the way to, the Father that he said the only way you're going to really know and understand who I am, he has to reveal it to you. He's greater. Okay. So do we understand that much at this point? Okay. Now, considering that the Father being greater than Mashiach, let's go to John chapter 17. A lot of the excerpt that we're going to look at, because of the focal point of John's message, will be, it is right. John chapter 17. John 17:25. Now he says, O righteous Father. Now, how many of you are familiar with this chapter? John chapter 17. Brother, well, tell me a little bit about this chapter. Okay, Dawood actually said it too. This was the prayer. This was that prayer that he offered up to the Father before the passion, before the execution. Okay? So he says, O righteous Father, indeed the world did not know you. What does that mean? Help me out. What did that just tell us? The world does not know the Father. That's a powerful statement right there when we get into everything else that's about the Father. Okay, because there's a method to this. Hallelujah. See, the way that the Creator has laid out His word. He says, O righteous Father, indeed the world did not know you, but I knew you. See, what did that tell us? Nobody else knew you. I knew you. He says, and these knew that you sent me. And we're going to see why as we go look at some other things. Right? Everybody with us? Yes. Okay. There's a distinction between Father and Son. And based on this statement right here, the world didn't know the Father. Okay? And we're going to see some things to substantiate even that clause. Go to John chapter 1 and verse 18.